Assalamualaikum dear students. How are you all? Hopefully you will be fine. Today we are going to start our new poem, Stopping by Words on a Snowy Evening. This poem is written by Robert Forrest. He was a famous American poet and he was inspired by the nature, as you know all. He was very famous on that time, and he just described the current condition to do comparison or to relate to the nature. And on that time he described the current condition uh, through the philosophy of the nature. So in this poem he point out the attractive and exciting beauty of nature, and that is very the world this world in which we are living right now, the world of fantasy, it's very inviting, he tried to tell us, but one must maintain balance between the world of reality and the imagination. It's a very beautiful and symbolic poem, and in this poem we will know that the poet steps in dark, snowy, and wood evening. The owner of the woods is in his house and does not know what a traveler has stopped in this wood to enjoy beauty of nature. Actually, he was not alone. He was with his horse also. So, let's start our poems reading. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village through. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Here's the end of first stanza, and students, one by one, I will explain the stanzas of this poem, and you people listen it carefully. So, what does wood here mean? Woods mean here in this stanza is forest, and the poet, the poet, you can say, has stopped near the snowy woods. Okay, he first wonder who owns these woods. In the same beneath, he tells that he think he does know who owns them. The owner of the woods live in the house in the village. You can read in the second line, his house is in the village true. The owner of the house or woods live in the house in the village. He would not come to watch his woods, so he would not get into trouble for trespassing on his land. Okay, and he will not come to see his wood with the full of snow. And students, you have to write the reference first. Mean like these lines these stanzas have been taken from the poem Stopping by Wooden on a Snowy Evening. This poem has been written by Robert Forrest, and he was inspired by the nature. He was a famous American poet like that. And after that, you have to do the paraphrasing of one stanza. And I'm going to read my second stanza. And second stanza of this poem is: my little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the wood and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. In this stanza, the poet is not alone. You can read, students. He tells us about his horse, and he has a horse, and his horse is little. He and his little horse spend a lot of time together. The poet's horse finds it strange to stop at a place where there is no farmhouse nearby. It is the darkest evening of the year, while the snow, dark evening, and the frozen lake present a beautiful scene. The poet and his horse are feeling cold in the between the woods and the frozen lake. The poet wants to enjoy the beauty of the nature, therefore he stops there. And our third stanza is: he gave his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and tawny flake. So the horse gave a jog, and the bell of its harness shake impatiently. The horse couldn't stand in the cold wind anymore. The horse feel very cold, but he want to stay over there. The poet, he want to enjoy the coldness of the snow. In fact, here in this sentence, he just relate bad works to the nature. He tell us our reality of life in this artificial world. The poet can read the feeling of his little fellow. There's also the sound of wind and soft flakes of snow. By the sound of bells, the horse wants to remind the poet about the aims of his life, and a signal that they should control the journey to reach their destination. And here's our last stanza. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. And in this sentence, you students can touch the feeling of the poet. What he want to explain through the nature. He just want to express his feelings, what he feel towards life by doing comparison of snow. The poet expressed that the snowy woods are lovely, beautiful and dark, but the poet has many things to do, promises to fulfill and places to go. He has to travel a long distance before he reaches his destination. He can rest his head on one little pillow, so he had better get going. So students, at the end of this poem, we have the moral and we get the lesson that sleeping stands here in this stanza in last two lines. You can see sleep stand here for death. The poet means to say that we should enjoy beauty of nature. We should remember that we are a traveler in this world. We should keep in our mind our main aims of life and continue our struggles to get these aims till our death. Mean ki we learn from this poem, this life is a temporary, and at the end we have to come up with our real purpose, our main goal, and we have to we should be ready to welcome our real life. So we have to set our goals and have to do work for that. So that is the end of today's poem. Students, you have to write down the stanzas, phrasing and the paraphrasing and its reference to the context on your note books. Take very good care of yourself. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.